Welcome to this week's special Halloween edition of the BiddieCast. Your host Sean Klein and Dave Fess. Dave, how's it going?
It's going. We're excuse me. We are getting ready for Halloween, an exciting Halloween weekend. The Miami Dolphins are in town. Bills bye week is finished, and we had quite the exciting week in fantasy football. Should we talk about it?
So yeah, well, just 1 second. I've got a question for you. Is that a broom on your wall? Is that like a witch's broom?
Yeah, sure is. Sure is.
Interesting. I did not know that Carolyn traded in her daytime job to be a witch for Halloween. Brilliant. Love it.
Yeah, she does it well. All
right, let's go into the scores. This week we had a lot of changes, as you'll see when we get to the power rankings. Thank you. That's what they are. I'm just brain dead today. First game of the week, a close one. UK Bills beat the USA Bills. You're not probably surprised by it, but you're probably surprised it was a close one, right?
Yeah, I mean, I thought UK Bills would have had a little bit of a larger margin of victory, but you look at some of the scores UK Bills got. Matthew Stafford, great game. Joe Burrow, I mean, is that like 3 weeks in a row that Joe Burrow's putting together like quality games? And then, look at over at Anton's team, USA Bills, Aaron Rodgers getting it done. Jimmy Garoppolo didn't do shit. But
Damian Harris, wow, 27 points from him. That was unexpected.
Yeah. So Chase, 36 points.
Yeah, a lot of unexpected things happened on Anton's team. It's just unfortunate that he couldn't come up with the win.
Unfortunate for him.
Next game, the Itty Buddy TE by committee versus the Killer Tomatoes. Killer Tomatoes, once again, on the bottom of the league.
Yeah, get the Dweeb Award for the second week in a row. He gets the Dweeb Award for the fourth time this season. So he's been at half of this season so far, and we'll touch on the Dweeb Award in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, he's struggling to find any kind of answers, any kind of points his team. Sam Darnold, I mean, terrible. I mean, his highest point total was 23.8 from Matt Ryan, and then 22 from Michael Pittman. Oof, it's going to be a long, long season for the Tomatoes. And
this was the closest game of the week, and we had a lot of them, but 147.75 to 147.4. So you edged out Buffalo Angela by about 35 hundredths of a point.
Yeah, and let me tell you something real quick about this game. It was the end of the late games, so the 4 o'clock games, and I saw how close the score was. I mean, I had Mike Evans left. She had Jalen Hurts, Chris Godwin, Leonard Fournette, and DeAndre Hopkins all playing. And at one point in time, she literally needed a catch. Any of those people. And you know what happened? All the coaches literally pulled their starters because at that point in time, all those games were blowouts. So all the starters got pulled, and I squeaked out a miracle victory. I love it.
You could call it a miracle victory, but you know what? I'm going to put a sour taste in your mouth because you deserve it for this game. Angela had 2 inactive players on her roster and still almost beat you. I don't know what's going on over there, but Angela had the opportunity to substitute Baker. We announced on the BiddieCast last week that Baker Mayfield was going to be out for that game. And literally, if you subbed in anyone into that OP spot, anyone, she would have come up with a win. So well, I just wanted to put a sour taste in your mouth on that.
And I mean, I get it. Me winning nothing will ever take away from me winning. I'll say that much. But she has an excuse. She just had a baby. They just moved as well. A lot's going on.
Congratulations.
At the Nowicki house. So this week, we'll save all our jokes and are giving her a hard time. We'll let her pass for it this week.
Yeah, I was mostly giving you the hard time on that one. Because,
win's a win.
Yeah, well.
W is a W.
Still tastes sour. But anyway, Muppet Nation coming up with the win despite only 2 players on their team getting a win.
Yeah, talk about that. Talk about what I mean, clearly you have Bennett like Beckham his team not getting it done overall. Not a lot of points being scored there, but yeah, talk about your team. What did you like?
I really liked Michael Carter this week, actually. He wasn't the highest scoring player on my team, but he came through when I really needed him to. Like many other teams in the league this week, the Muppets were facing bye and injury purgatory, with a bunch of our players on byes or injuries. And then you of course have Jarvis Landry, who is he going to play? Is he not going to play? And then he ends up playing. And but anyway, I struggle with the lineup all week, and I'm still struggling even into this week, setting it, because I don't want to drop any of my players, and I've got a bunch of players that are like, they're not going to play, but they're not designated as out yet, so I can't move them to the IR to pick up a player. So yeah, just like every other team in the league, facing some injury and bye problems, but lucky that we came out with a win on that one. Mostly thanks to Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone survived by apocalypse so far.
It's my year, bitches. And I called this game last week, Dave. I called it.
You sure did. And you were right. You were right. I mean, It's My Year, bitches goes into Double D Stadium, and he gets a convincing victory, upset of the week. You look at his team, Ryan Tannehill putting up some big points. But the big point getter on that team was A.J. Brown. And Buccaneers defense, 18 points. Anytime you get 18 points from a defense,
that's great.
That's phenomenal. You can't ask for anything better. Double D
is
great.
Double D, another guy that was going through bye purgatory this week. So I definitely expect him to rebound. Luckily for Paul, his team wasn't on byes. And did he get the high score this week?
He does. So he gets to. Is this the last game? Do we have another game to go?
What's that?
Do we have another game to go, or is it the last game?
I believe we have one more. Nope,
Okay.
that's last.
So Paul, if you're watching, if you're listening, you do get to challenge Robert, who was the Dweeb again. We have incorporated a new rule for the Dweeb Award. We do have some outstanding Dweeb Award challenges. Just for this year, we're forgiving last year because it's a different season. Paul, we still want to see that WAP video, by the way. However, you are not allowed to challenge somebody until you complete your Dweeb challenges. So Robert has 2 right now, a third potentially coming from Paul. Angela owes 1. I believe you said that she needs to reenact her favorite scary movie scene, which spooky season's still happening.
Yeah, I would love to get that before Halloween.
Yeah, and then of course Double D challenge Ben to chug 2 beers from his boot and then rap. So a little bit of house cleaning that we wanted to go over real quick here.
Yeah, and I like that. It keeps the spirit of this as being fun. But at the same time, we need to provide some type of penalty if you don't provide in a timely manner. Because again, I'm still looking forward to that WAP video, and I don't want to be sitting here next year thinking I'm still looking forward to that WAP video and something else.
Right.
So we gotta do something to up everyone's game on this.
Absolutely, I agree.
Looking at the standings,
Things changed.
oh wow, did things change? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams within 2 games of each other.
Right. It's insane. It's insane what happened here. That's elephant in the room. Start 0-3. What did I do? Throw 4 wins straight in a row. Now I went from last to first place in my division. But yeah, as you mentioned, I'm 4-3, right? Every other team in my division is within at least 2 games of me, at most 2 games of me. Everybody else, except for USA Bills, for Anton, 1 game. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of breathing room. Flip it to the other division, Double D, Angela. They have a couple guys right behind them at 4-3, and then yourself and then UK Bills, and then of course Killer Tomatoes with the whopping 5% chance, 1% chance to make the playoffs. Still there.
Ouch.
But,
well,
yeah.
and I think that would be good to actually, I'm going to skip ahead of the injury report and go straight to our power rankings, because that's a great transition right into Killer Tomatoes as to why they're at number 10.
They're just not scoring points. It's his team, unfortunately, is just not good. I mean, he's got 2 victories. I think those victories might be a little bit of anomalies. Sam Darnold put up like 35 points at one point, stuff like that. But Killer Tomatoes, I don't think he is going to be able to overcome this. I mean, it's
Another team that's been staying in the dumps here. Anton's changing team name.
I like it. Yeah, it's no secret how I feel about his team. So I'll let you just. What do you feel about his team? Does he have a chance to turn it around?
I think you still do. It's a tight league.
Rodgers and Allen, right? He's got Rodgers and Allen on his team.
It's a tight league. There's still time to change it around, and as we know, there's schedule anomalies and things like that. Sometimes you just end up playing the better teams at the beginning of the season, and then at the end of the season, well, here they are. But also with that said, I believe we're getting close to almost playing through everyone. So
halfway through the season, this is midway point. So
incredible, we're already there. But the team I really want to talk about with the power rankings here is it's Paul's team. I said this last week. He's got a good team. Unfortunately, his record just doesn't show it. He's got a spectacular team, but I agree with you that they belong at 8 right now. But I can definitely see them jumping up into the top 5 spot in the next week or two, depending on how they play.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
Going down to number 7, the Itty Buddy TE by committee. Again, same thing, another solid team. Just got to stay healthy and stay off those bye weeks. And I see this team being another potential top 5 team in the future.
I would agree with that assessment. Muppets. You got to be at this point in time. I mean, you've.
I'm getting
4,
worried.
5, 6. 4, 5, 6 is where you've been the last few weeks. You're in the playoffs right now based on these rankings, but yeah, I mean, you're right at the bottom. You're not going up. You're staying at the bottom of those playoff rankings.
Right.
So.
And I'm starting to get worried because, like I said, Paul's got a good team, Ben's got a good team, and then looking above me, it's Chris's team, who I've been riding their bandwagon all year.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you have some tough teams in front of you. It's not like these teams are there by luck. No, these teams have solid teams, talented teams, and a lot of these teams, their bye-week apocalypse was last week. So now they have the whole rest of the season ahead of them, if they can just not get into any injury issues.
Number 4, UK Bills, and you and I kind of disagreed as to where UK Bills belongs. We were going back and forth between Bennett like Beckham or UK Bills. It's very tight between the two of them. Their aggregated score is exactly the same. So the only reason why we put UK Bills above Beckham was because I believe he beat them in their matchup. So and he's also this number 4 spot is your highest scoring team in the Buffalo Biddies Fantasy Football League.
Yeah, so I mean, clearly they are not far from the top spot, scoring the most points. I mean, I think UK Bills and Bennett, I think they're 1 and 2, if I'm not mistaken. They might be 1 and 2 as far as points scored go. So we know these teams can score points and put up points easily. And look at number 3, from the ashes, rose the Phoenix.
Oh yes, I remember when you were at 8 or 7. So again, if you're Paul or Ben or even Anton, it's not over. Dave was here before.
Yeah. Again, I said before that it's not like my team was not scoring points, because they were. I just had some tough matchups. The thing about it is, I'm going back and revisiting all those tough matchups in the second half of the season. So just because I'm here right now doesn't mean I'm going to be here forever. I mean, I think I'm probably going to be number 1 eventually, if you were to ask me. But I mean, I got some tough matchups coming up here.
Currently, you're the number 3 scoring team.
Yeah.
At number 2, Buffalo Angela. And I do want to state that for my purposes, this is all record based. I do believe that she should have beat you this week. So another reason why I put her ahead of you is because she has the better team. She should have swamped you.
I mean, maybe by. I mean,
it wouldn't have been close.
What do you consider swamping by? I mean, who
10 plus points.
I don't think 10 plus points is swamping. I think maybe 15, 20. But I mean, she puts. Here's the thing: you play to win the game.
Well, that leaves us to number 1.
2 weeks in a row, double D. I mean,
Double D. Despite the loss, most of his team was on a bye that week,
right.
so I think he was in a position to take a loss there, especially with the buys. So yeah, but we're gonna keep him up here and see how he performs over this week.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think this week's going to change anything. Even if he loses this week, unless his team suddenly just hits an injury bug, I see him staying at number one, even if he does drop down to 5-3.
Okay. Well, I mean, speaking of injury bug, why don't we, as a great segue, into a few notable injuries or players who are going to be out this upcoming week. We'll start off with, I mean, this is a big one because it's game tomorrow. A big game tomorrow with Green Bay against Arizona, and in Arizona, I believe. Devontae Adams and Lazard, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. Both top receivers for the Green Bay Packers. I don't know if they caught the COVID.
Caught the vid,
They caught the vid. So
or at least got a false positive.
right, yeah. I mean, they tested. Well, I mean, Devontae Adams did not travel with the team, so he is definitely not playing tomorrow. I don't know about Lazard. I don't know if he traveled or if he did not travel, but that's big for Devontae Adams. I mean, he's a top 5 wide receiver in fantasy. He's a big player whoever owns him in our league is big shoes to fill.
Yeah. So Lazard, what was in close contact with Devontae Adams, and he's not eligible to play on Thursday. Yeah, the whole situation there was Adams got a positive test, I believe, on Tuesday, and in order to complete your time, you need to have, I think, 48 hours of no contact with anyone, and then retest, and retest is negative. Now they could have done that.
I think it's two negative tests.
Yes. I think they could have done that day of game, but he wouldn't have made the game to do it. So he could have been tested on Thursday, but he wouldn't be eligible to play.
Right.
The last two injuries we're going to talk about here.
Before we go to injuries, I want to bring up one thing. So this means Marcus Scandling Valdez or whatever his name is for the Green Bay Packers is going to be a big waiver pickup. UK Bills got him. And I wanted to say one thing that UK Bills has an advantage over the rest of us here in the States, because all of our bids for players post at 3 a.m. on Wednesdays, right? The first initial bids that we have. After that, every player who was not bid upon, as long as they weren't dropped in that bidding process, you can add them. You don't have to bid for them. You don't have to put money on them. Alex being 6 hours ahead, that's 9 a.m. his time. He's up, he's ready to do, he's drinking coffee while we are sleeping. He gets a head start on getting those free agents. So good on him. He got Valdez, but don't feel bad for him if he doesn't get players in the future. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, and I've always been a proponent of keeping the 24-hour lock on players at least until a few hours before the games. But I have come around on the issue of picking up players the day of game. I ran into an issue this week in another fantasy league where I had Darren Waller, and it wasn't announced that he was out until like a couple hours before the game, and I was not able to pick up a tight end because we have that 24-hour lock on it. So I had to end up starting Darren Waller and getting the big 0 for it. Luckily, I came up with the win still, but the bottom line is that came back to bite me in that situation. So I see why we want to have that open waiver period.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
And that actually transitions great into Darren Waller. He's got an ankle injury. It doesn't sound too serious, but it certainly will keep him sidelined at least a couple weeks. Possibly even more, probably. And the doctor that I was talking to about Darren Waller, he told me that it was going to be anywhere between 2 and 5 weeks. And he said, probably, if this is what I think it is, probably more on the 5-week end.
Wait, so do you have a fantasy doctor on retainer? Is that like your
we
secret
do, yes.
to this year?
We do.
Interesting.
Yes. The last injury we want to talk about is Antonio Brown. He's on my roster here, so this has a direct impact on me, I guess. But definitely on the NFL, because he's been one of the hottest players this year, and he showed up to practice yesterday in crutches. So again, an ankle injury here that is likely going to keep him sidelined at least 2 weeks. We'll see how long that actually takes. Currently, he's listed as doubtful and not out, but I cannot imagine him playing this week, especially after seeing him on crutches on Tuesday.
Woof.
Heading into this week's picks.
Yeah, so we got Muppets welcoming It's My Year Bitches into MetLife Muppet Stadium. I'm going with Muppets.
Yeah, again, I'm going to continue to praise Paul's team here. I think his team is very good, but I also think that I've got some really good matchups this week.
Sure.
That we can take advantage of. I think all of my players are healthy currently. I'm just missing a defense right now, but that should be something easy to pick up before Sunday.
Okay, and then the next game we have Buffalo Angela welcoming Bennett like Beckham. So this is like the Jets and the Giants. They play in the same stadium. Angela's considered the home team, but I'm going with Buffalo Angela on this one.
Yeah, I'm not. I still think they're. If I were the manager of Buffalo Angela, I would be trying to make some deals right now. Because I think there are some spots on our team that definitely need filling. She's got 2 injured tight ends now with Darren Waller and Rob Gronkowski. Baker Mayfield should be back soon. I believe he's expected to play this week, potentially. So that's going to be a great help, but there are still some spots to fill there, especially at that tight end position. And as you know, Dave, if you don't have one of the top 4 tight ends, you're probably putting up a 5 score at most.
Sure. Yeah. And also real quick, when you said Rob Gronkowski, I was like, Rob Gronkowski, who the fuck is that? Because I can't think the last time I didn't refer to him as Gronk. So who the fuck is that? Anyways.
All right,
next,
we know who we're picking in this game.
Yeah, I mean it's if you're willing to make a wager on this, I would take it all day long, whatever you want to do, within reason. But I mean,
Rob, you have too many things on your plate right now. I would highly recommend against betting with Dave on this game. Again, until the Killer Tomatoes are able to show us that they can not be the lowest scoring team in the league, right. I think you and I are both in the same train as just bet against them.
Yeah.
Buddy, TE by committee. I think this is the Monday night game or the Sunday night game. This is Alan Chris right here.
No, this is the London game. So this is the game that's at 9 a.m. But everybody wants to see it though. Everyone's waking up at 9 a.m. getting hammered by 9 a.m. because this game is in London. I'm going with UK Bills though. I think UK Bills has a stronger roster, at least at this point in time of the season.
Yeah, I agree. They're the highest scoring team in the league. Honestly, I think it's a real shame that we have them ranked at number 4. Anytime you're the highest scoring team in the league, I think you should be ranked number 1. You've clearly just had some bad luck to get 3 losses there. So I'm going UK Bills. Anton versus Double D. Before we get into the guesses on this one, which again, I think you and I are both on the same train. So, but I have a question for you: is how is Anton going to change his name for the matchup against Double D?
I don't know. I mean, because he doesn't have the alliteration in his letters in his name. I don't know what his middle name is. I mean, his mom's got double D's. So, I mean, making it my mom's double D's or something like that.
Anton's mom's double D's.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he's going to do there. I'm sure he'll come up with something. Whether it's clever or not remains to be seen. I don't think it's going to be. But I think
we can't bet with him though. We can't. You just can't. And Double D coming off that bye week where I don't know if you saw his bench, but it was just bye.
Insane.
He had insync down there, yeah.
Yeah.
Players to watch this week. Who you got?
Yeah, I mean, this might seem a little weird, but Aaron Rodgers, not because I think Aaron Rodgers has anything necessarily to prove, but because who's he going to throw to? I mean, he's got Tanyan as tight end. Tanyan might have a big game. I mean, if you're the owner of Robert Tanyan, you might think considering putting him in your lineup somewhere. But Aaron Rodgers, I mean, it seems like Aaron Rodgers, he's kind of just like Tom Brady in the fact that every time you say he's donezo or he's not going to do anything, he proves you wrong. So I'm looking for Aaron Rodgers. Relax, absolutely. I'm looking for Mr. Old Man Aaron Rodgers to get it done. Show him why he's the MVP, why he was the MVP last year, and go in and get a. I mean, this is a.
He was MVP
game.
last year.
Yeah. This is a statement game for the Green Bay Packers because they're missing their top two wide receivers, right? If Aaron Rodgers and team can go in there and get a win against the undefeated Cardinals, what a statement, right? On the flip side, if the Cardinals win, you know what the narrative is going to be. I mean, they're without the number two, their best wide receivers.
Right.
Having said that, I am not sold on Arizona, to be 100% honest with you. I think they've had a pretty weak schedule up to this point for the most part. This is outside of fantasy, but I think this is going to be a very interesting showing for Aaron Rodgers this week.
Yeah. I think Arizona's a good team, don't get me wrong, but I kind of agree with you. I don't think they are what their record says they are. I think they're probably like the Bills. They should probably be at like a 5-3 record, but here they are sitting pretty undefeated. The guy I'm watching this week is Danny Dimes. This guy can do everything, huh?
Look at that catch.
I continue to be entertained by Daniel Jones because when you watch him, if you just watch his game film, and let's be honest here, we've all watched enough football to know, oh, that's a good quarterback, or Tyrod Taylor really isn't that good.
Sure.
We've watched enough football to be honest with ourselves with that stuff. Daniel Jones is kind of an anomaly to me because when you watch him, you're like, that's not a good quarterback. Why is he making that throw? But he keeps putting up numbers and he's making catches.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen had, I think, a couple of years ago had a kind of similar, not that crazy catch, but yeah, I mean, Daniel Jones, I mean, he's certainly he's no Tom Brady, he's no Aaron Rodgers, he's no Josh Allen, but he's a middle of the road quarterback that he'll never win you a game. He will probably lose you some games, but he's serviceable. He'll probably, I think he's going to end up being just like one of those guys who latches on as a backup somewhere and like he does his job as a backup when need be. But yeah, I mean, athletic catch. Also, might I remind you, same Daniel Jones who was like running for like 75 yards.
Yes,
guy's got some wheels and then tripped over his own feet. So very athletic, very athletic.
The one last thing I do want to touch on with Daniel Jones is this year he's been putting up solid numbers. I believe he's like the number 3 ranked quarterback. Let me just confirm that. But while I'm getting that information, Dave, I just want you to talk about how Daniel Jones has been doing this without basically any of his teammates. Barkley's down. I mean, his wide receivers are down. Just talk about that for a second while I pull up these numbers.
Yeah, I mean, without really seeing the numbers exactly, not knowing the games, I would assume they're playing from behind a lot, getting a lot of garbage points. In fantasy football, no one cares if you're winning the games in real life. They're just wondering, they want you to put up points, right? They want you to put up the stats. So garbage time is the equivalent, that's the best kind of time anybody wants, right? So, I think that has a lot to do with it. I mean, they are a team that is, suffering through injuries, so they're behind a lot. So they're throwing the ball. I would assume if you, on average, you're probably throwing the ball 35, 40 times a game, if not more, not really running it because who's going to run the ball?
Right.
Barkley's hurt. Their backup is like, bleh. He's got to split the ball because he doesn't really have a number 1 receiver, right? Is Galladay hurt or is Galladay playing?
Oh yeah, he's hurt. He's always questionable. And then when he does play, he gets hurt on the first play. So you can just expect Galladay to put up low numbers there. Jones currently the 16th ranked quarterback. I was completely off by that. Maybe it was just a couple weeks ago that he was a little bit better than that.
He's probably got a 30 in there somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, he's not far behind people. I mean, he's got 139 points on the year. To give you an example, just a little bit above him is Dak Prescott with 152. So there's kind of a cluster with quarterbacks in that area, which is to be expected. But Daniel Jones just keeps surprising me in ways that I never expected to be surprised. So kudos to Daniel Jones, and let's see if he can keep up what he's doing with the Giants. I think it's actually something special.
I think this is the second time you've had him as a player to watch. I think I remember you talking about it before.
Is it?
Might be.
Well,
I don't know.
We'll have to check on that. Well, anyway, for this week's talking points, we're not going to talk football because it's Halloween. So let's talk about Halloween. What do you do on Halloween? You give out candy. What's your favorite candy?
I mean, if we're talking strictly Halloween candy, big fan of the Reese's. Love candy corn. I love candy corn. That might be hot take, I guess, right there, based on your reaction. I'm a simple person when it comes to candy for the most part. Chocolate, peanut butter, like it. M&Ms. I think M&Ms are probably my favorite candy overall. M&Ms.
Okay, M&Ms are good. Do you go with the peanut or just the regular kind?
Oh, peanut all day long. The other ones are boring.
Or do you like the peanut butter ones?
Those are good. Those are really good, but I feel like they're not producing them as much. They're a little hard to find. They're a little bit more expensive than the peanut ones.
I seem to be finding those caramel ones a lot, and they're trash. They're hot trash. They're probably one of the worst candies on the market. The M&M caramels.
Now, what about you? What's your favorite candy?
Oh, Reese's all day. And now if I'll be a little bit more specific with it though, because I specifically love more than anything the Reese's Ghosts. It's white chocolate on the outside and peanut butter on the inside. I don't know what it is with the white chocolate that adds to the peanut butter on the inside, but it's just a fantastic treat.
Sure. I mean, I think I've had it before. Now, so this is your first or your second Halloween in Arizona?
This is my second.
So how is your first year? How was your first? Did you hand out candy? What was the situation there like?
Yeah, so it was 2020. I bought a big bag of candy. Let's be honest, I probably ate a quarter of it before Halloween.
Yes, smoking and stuff. Yeah, sure.
So when Halloween hit, it was 2020. I didn't know how many people to expect. I wasn't expecting that many, but I sold out within the first hour.
Damn.
And so I felt really bad toward like the middle of the night where people are still showing up at my door and I've got an empty bowl. So this year I came a little bit more prepared. This year I have two bowls, one of fruity snacks with like Starburst and Skittles in it, and another one of chocolatey caramel snacks, including those horrible caramel M&Ms. Okay. But that's why I give them away. I just pick around them. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, same situation here. We didn't hand out any candy last year, but nobody showed up. We kind of live on a busy street, corner house, but also it was COVID. So I'm expecting maybe more this year, even though we're not going to be home, but I'm expecting it to be a little bit better. I do have a funny story, though. So when we were still living in Tonawanda, we'd get 75 plus kids throughout the course of the night. It was getting towards the end of the night, and we bought way too much candy. And, I run out, and I was handing out candy, and at the point where I was just, like, kind of giving, like, some good handfuls to each kid. And then, like, towards the end of the night, I thought things were over, right? Two kids come up, I'm like, take a big handful. I'd give them a bowl. kid just like scoops up all. And I'm just like, I can't even be mad about that.
Right.
You know, it's
Give
like
him permission,
this 7-year-old kid just having the balls to do that. I was like, man, great play. Your parents raised you well.
Take as much as you can whenever you can. All right. Before we wrap up today, though, what's your least favorite candy? Like, what is the worst candy that you can possibly give out? That it should probably be illegal to give out this candy on Halloween.
That's a great question. Do you have something in mind? Because I need to think about this.
The one I have in mind are Smarties.
Okay.
I do not like Smarties. If you want to get a fruity snack, eat some Skittles or Starburst, or there's plenty of other options. Lifesaver gummies. There's plenty of other fruity options than Smarties. Smarties, they just taste like chalk. Like they have the same consistency as chalk.
Yeah, like Tums.
Yeah, and I never feel like I'm satisfied with them, and then they get stuck in your teeth, and I just don't like Smarties. There's nothing about Smarties that I like. Now, with that said, I do have a two-part to this. Because there's another candy that I don't like in particular, but it has nothing to do with the candy itself. It's Starburst. And I don't
like Starburst.
Yes, I don't like Starburst because, at least for Halloween candy, because the ones they give you are these 2-packs. So it's 2-pack of Starburst that's in a package. Mm-hmm. So not only do you have to unwrap the package, but then you have to unwrap the wrapping from both Starbursts.
Okay, so you're lazy is basically what you're saying.
I like efficiency.
Okay.
You know, one of the great things about a Reese's is you just open the package and you eat the Reese's.
Well,
I don't need to open up multiple packages. Yeah, but there's one wrapper. I can easily just split, go. And you know how difficult those Starburst wrappers are to get off.
I hear you. So I thinking about it, I have two. When you said the sticks to your teeth thing, the first thing that immediately came to my mind that I don't like is the dots. You know, those like gelatin, like
those are
dots.
Terrible, yeah.
Don't like those. But my number one candy I hate the most, and I see it on Halloween all the time, is when you get the little fucking golden coins that are just like chocolate wrapped in it's just plain chocolate, and they wrap it up in it. But here's my thing: you're giving me gold. You give me the gold coins, right? I would expect it to be something better than just plain old milk chocolate. I mean, it's gold coins. It's like the top coin you can have, the most expensive coin you can have, and you're gonna be just plain old milk chocolate.
But you can buy them at the dollar store.
Just because you can get it at the dollar store doesn't mean it's good.
That probably means it's not good.
Exactly. I think that's your first warning. First warning.
Okay, so changing from one season to the next, you don't like those individually wrapped chocolate coins. How do you feel about the chocolate that's wrapped in the shape of like Santa Claus? Basically the same thing, right?
Yeah, I mean that's like kind of like, I don't like plain milk chocolate really that much. I would if I'm gonna eat chocolate, I like to have some different flavor in there, even if it's like a crackle, something different in there. Some of those Santas have like caramel and peanut butter in there. I'm not surprised when you bite into it, you know?
So you want more than just chocolate?
Correct, yeah.
How do you feel about Hershey bars?
I mean, I like to make s'mores. I mean, they're good for s'more making, but that's just plain old chocolate's boring. It's boring.
Okay.
How I feel, you know?
The Halloween special. Are you dressing up this year?
Yeah, we're I think we're going to a friend's house, and then myself, Carolyn, and Josephine have a little family themed, well, it's not family themed, but a themed family costume thing planned out. So
can you tell us what it is, or are you keeping it a secret?
I think it's probably gonna be a secret, but it's nothing crazy. We're not gonna be the first family to ever do this. Kind of a cliche thing to do, especially when you have a little baby. So
I got a feeling pumpkins are going to be involved.
Maybe not. I don't know. We'll find out on Sunday. And you're still going as that Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I don't know if anyone's familiar with it, but If you ever watch Dragon Ball Z, there's a character called Future Trunks. He comes from the future, that's why he's Future Trunks. And he comes back and he beats Frieza single-handedly in like a minute.
Okay.
And it's just one of the greatest scenes from all of Dragon Ball Z. There's 291 episodes of it, and it's just one of the scenes that sticks out. Very similar to when Goku first becomes a Super Saiyan. This
is all foreign language to me.
So a Super Saiyan is basically when they reach a certain power level, their hair turns like a blonde or gold color, and it gets spiky, like it just spikes up. And I'm gonna try that. I've been growing my hair out for it. I've gotta create a bowl cut for myself, and then spike the hair up.
Well, good luck with that. We definitely need to see photos. So next BiddieCast, maybe we each bring a photo of us in our get-ups. And maybe we can collect it from the league. Everyone can send a picture of their Halloween thing. And
yeah, please do.
Have it. Bit of a long BiddieCast this week. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Me too. Happy Halloween, Dave. Happy Halloween to everyone in the Buffalo Biddies Fantasy Football League and everyone else watching the BiddieCast this week.
Yes, good luck, and go fuck yourselves. I haven't said it in a few weeks. Go fuck yourselves.